Hi everybody. The ALS Ice Bucket Challenge that took place in 2014 was a psychological operation, and I will tell you why it was a psychological operation. Now, some of you will remember this challenge, some of you probably won't, some of you have probably never even heard of it. But this went all over the world, and I remember everybody doing this challenge. And what it was you had someone like Bill Gates, doing the Ice Bucket Challenge. You had Mark Zuckerberg doing it, and all the celebrities were doing it. A lot of celebrities were doing it. And it spreaded around Facebook like wildfire. All of a sudden, somebody did the Ice Bucket Challenge where they would tip water over their head, cold water over their head, sometimes with ice in. Even though it's stupid. Apparently it's raising for charity, of course, but, I think there was more to it than that. Especially when you get people like this doing it, and people like Mark Zuckerberg and all these other celebrities doing it, that, all these sketchy celebrities. And what it was a chuck ice water over them. And some people were just doing it for the fun of it. They weren't even donating. They were just doing an Ice Bucket Challenge, nominating 4 people. Then those 4 people were doing Ice Bucket Challenge where they would tip water over their head and film it for Facebook. And then they would nominate 4 people, and then the 4 people would do it. And it spread like wild. Everyone was doing it. Loads of people were doing it. And that's the sheep-like behaviour we see. And that's why we have trends. I think that's why they have trends where they try to promote something to see how people would react to it. And if loads of people do it, everyone else wants to do it. It's like when a new film comes out on Netflix. Once it's talked about so much and people say they've seen it, other people want to see it as well because they know other people have seen it. And it's like monkey see, monkey do, yeah? So everybody does the same thing. And this was a psyop to see how people would follow the crowd, and that's exactly what happened. Everybody started throwing ice water over their head for no apparent reason because everybody else was doing it, and then they would nominate 4 people. And that showed that people had this sheep-like behaviour, and there's been many trends like this as well. When people talk about things or do things, there was the plank challenge. I remember that was probably 2013, where people were doing the plank. They had to lay on their elbows and see how long they can balance themselves for. It's all psyops. It's all mini psyops to see how people respond and see how people follow crowds, and that's exactly what it does. So they monitor this behaviour for future events. So yes, it does have something to this. So yes, the Ice Bucket Challenge was a psychological operation. It was a psyop to monitor how people would react to a trend and see if people would follow the crowd and do the same behaviours, and that's exactly what they did. And eventually it's coming to the point where the more they do bring these trends out, this technology, where you want the technology because everybody else has it, and they bring it out and they make you more dependent on the technology, so they make us less dependent, so we rely on AI to control everything, even our movement. And we see it with movies, predictive programming movies like WALL-E. I don't know if it's a Disney movie where you've got all these people that are overweight, they're in the chair, and they have everything done for them. They're not human anymore. They're just in a chair and everything's done for them. And of course they're unhealthy. So they're not exploring anything. And we have the same for, Siri and all the Alexa and all that stuff. Where they are doing stuff for us more, like, when you say Siri, turn off, or Alexa, turn off lights, it'll turn off the lights. And it's the same for Siri. And it's coming more apparent where eventually you will ask, your own home will do everything for you, where you don't have to do anything. And of course, I want everybody inside, so not exploring the world. Why explore the world and have fun when you can have fun in your own home, trapped in your own room, in your own pod? Because you've got all the entertainment you need, and that's why we have Netflix and Prime, Amazon Prime, and all that now, because that's what people you know, well, people were self-isolating. That's what they were doing, watching Netflix, watching Amazon Prime. Because they don't want us to have human contact. They want us indoors with unlimited entertainment. Everything is on demand. You know, we're isolated, no human contact, depending on robots. And that's why we have Netflix. That's why we have Amazon Prime. That's why you can just get things like that now. You no longer get DVDs. No longer do you have to go to the cinema. They're trying to get rid of the cinema, so you don't have to go out to the cinema. You can just stay in your home. You know, and if you think about it, this is an interesting one. We're already in that stage of artificial intelligence where humans are artificial intelligence, because when you think about it, it's not natural intelligence anymore, is it? All the intelligence that humans have is artificial. It's made from someone else. The ideas come from other people or machines. The algorithms change our ideas, change our perception, even change our intelligence. So the average human being this day and age has no natural intelligence. Their natural intelligence is completely gone. All their intelligence that they have is from the mainstream media. So it's all artificial. They talk about the mainstream media and what the news has said and what's going on and all that stuff with their friends, and it's just not natural intelligence, it's artificial intelligence. So we're already at the stage of artificial intelligence, really. Because, you know, if the average sheep or human doesn't have any natural intelligence. It's all artificial intelligence. It's intelligence from what they've heard on the mainstream media, the news, what they're taught in school, their algorithms and the videos they watch. You know, they don't think for themselves. I'm not talking about us, but the average sheep, you know. And of course, this dopamine effect, this being addicted to dopamine, and now we're getting to the point where we don't want to talk to people, and, you know, people now have anxiety because they're constantly bombarded with messages on social media. You know, and all that's a complete psyop as well. So yeah, that's where it's going, guys. And eventually you'll be in your own pod, virtual reality, and explore this fake world, unlimited entertainment. Well, you don't even know you're trapped in a prison, and you'll own nothing because you'll be happy. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy because you'll be living in this pod and you'll be always entertained, thinking that you're free when you're actually not. You're actually trapped inside. That's what they want. That's where it's going. It's going in this direction, even crazier than this. So yeah. And then they can, when they've got you all trapped inside where they want you, they can do whatever the hell they want. If they want to kill you, they can kill you. Alright. Yeah. So if we don't want it to go in that direction, I suggest we fight for our freedoms and our rights. And you need to stand your ground and not let them consume you into this. No matter how tempting it will be, understand that even though it looks tempting and really fun to start off with, they are building you're building your prison for yourself, really. You know, they got you with the smartphones and the technology and the screens. I mean, we all stare at screens. I stare at screens. Fucking hell. I'm no different, really. I mean, they've kind of got me in a way. But I realise it, and I realise that when I have too much screen time, I have to come away. I've had to be strict with myself. But it's very easy to fall into this dilemma. Alright, guys. I'll leave it there. Just a short video. But yeah. So yeah, Ice Bucket Challenge, mini psyops, and all these trends are psyops to see how the human crowd follow each other. And then they get you onto this new technology and all these gadgets and all these stuff that they bring out and make it trendy for people to get it, and then they follow it, and that because everyone has it, they want it themselves, and then they get it, and it's leading to all this. And people will line up for this, of course, because they'll think it's cool, because they've seen movies with all the predicted programming in movies. They think it's cool because the movies make it out like it's cool, don't they? But when you look at the bigger picture, you realise it's a complete trap. And we're just literally around the corner from this. Cheers, guys.